So while you're clicking sending in your answer for number 2, since everyone got this one right, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. I'll just talk about this first term right here. You don't know what 44 over 54 reduces to, but your calculator does. You and I, we don't know exactly, but your calculator does. So make sure you use your calculator for that. Just put in 44 over 54, enter, and it'll give it to you in reduced form. This negative exponent needs to be flipped down, and 3 plus 4 is 7. So your first term should have been this. The only one to have a first term equal to that fraction is B, as most of you said. Maybe all but one, I think. Let's see what you said about number 2. Oh, okay. So a little bit of parity here, a little bit of uncertainty, perhaps. Looks like we think it might be either A or D. This is a true ACT question. Look at these answer choices. They are all so similar. You need to be very careful as you pick your answer. And I'll take a volunteer for this. What did you do to find your answer? Okay. Cortavius.
Well, I just learned this new trick.
Okay. What's your trick? Oh, it better not be C polyroots.
It is.
Nope, I don't want to hear about that.
Why not?
Jeremy's. Okay, what did you do? Okay.
3x minus, x to the third minus x squared minus 7x minus 15 0.
Okay, then what did you do? How did you put it in the calculator? I like that. So what was it again? X
To the third minus 2x.
Teachers, please pardon this interruption, but on yesterday you received a list of students who were slated to take the ASVAB exam. Please send those students to the library to prepare the test, to prepare to take that exam. So again, those students that are supposed to take the ASVAB, their names are listed, and send only those students to the library to be tested. Thank you.
Minus 17 is half. Minus 15.
minus 17?
Minus 15.
Minus 15? How do you know what the answers are? Where it crosses the x-axis. So -3, -1, and 5. -3, -1, and 5. D. Okay, Delorante, go ahead. Delorante, if you have exponents that are fractions, you just treat them like any other exponent. So add the exponents, multiply the exponents, subtract the exponents, all the rules that we already know, just do it with fractions. Any other questions for number 2? Anyone do it another way? We don't talk about C polyroots yet. Talk about C polyroots when I'm ready to talk about C polyroots. It's for your own good, son. It's for your own good. It's like you ask, Dad, what does this mean? Not now, son. I'll tell you one day. You're not ready for that yet. Take your warm-up, set aside, look at today's notes in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Any number to the 0 power. And this is algebra, so we don't have to say any number. We can write that algebraically? How would you say any number? How would you say that algebraically? Yeah, you put a variable. So any number to the 0 power is 1. Negative 500 to the 0 power is 1. 500,029,000 to the 0 power is 1. 3 to the 0 power is 1. So when you look at number 1 right here, x to the 0 power is 1 times 3x cubed. That equals 3x cubed. You got to be careful though, because 0 is a's exponent. 0 is not 3's exponent. So this is 3 times 1 times 3 times 1. Which is 9. So that's what you do when the exponent is 0. What do you do if the exponent is a fraction? Well, if you heard what I said to Delarante, you treat the exponent like any old exponent. This is a multiplication problem, and we know that in a multiplication problem you need to add the exponents. So first we'll do 3 times 3, which is 9. And your calculator is an exponent, a fraction adding machine. So this time I have 7 over 4 plus, control divide is my favorite way to do this. Control divide lets you write a fraction. You know, just like you learned in probably 7th grade, you can also do parentheses, 3 divided by 4 parentheses, if you had a good calculator teacher in middle school. Show you what I mean by that. Parentheses, 7 divided by 4 plus parentheses, 3 divided by 2. So both of these are good and acceptable ways of typing. You can do control divide or you can use parentheses. I don't care which one you do. You should both times get 13 over 4. And notice your calculator rewrites these as fractions. Once you type it in, your calculator will recalibrate it as a fraction. So we have 9r to the 13 over 4. In a multiplication problem, you add the exponents. What about a power of a power, which we recognize because of the parentheses? So this is a power of a power. And that's the one time that you take the exponents and you multiply them. That's when you multiply exponents. 1/2 times 5 over 3. And hold on, before you go for your calculator, it's easier to do this in your head. Okay, watch. Multiply the numerators. 1 times 5 is 5. Multiply the denominators. 2 times 3 is 6. So it's really easy to multiply fractions. Yep, you multiply the numerators together and you multiply the denominators together.
Number 8.
What about number 8? I know I gotta mess with you every once in a while. What am I supposed to do with that? That's the answer. Too easy. Child's play.
If it's 0, if it's undefined, is that considered 0?
Undefined? You mean 5 divided by 0?
0 to 0. Yeah.
That's not undefined. Your calculator says undefined? Let's double check it. You know, that might be an exception. But you know who does know? I may have forgotten after all these years, but you know who does know? Okay, so Google says it's 1. Let's see here.
I already talked about this.
Yeah, I thought it was 1, but let's make sure. But if that is the case, what is 0? Well, it is undefined. Function 2 variables is not just okay. So 0 to the 0 power is undefined. Okay.
You see, why you say what?
You're right. That's why I looked it up. Because I said I can be wrong.
So.
I'm not perfect.
This all is 0 though.
So this would be something times an undefined number. Anything times an undefined number would be undefined.
I put 0 there.
0 is not true.
So
0 and undefined, are those the same thing? No.
0 times, 3 times 0, everything times 0, 0.
There are no zeros in this problem.
What's 0 right there?
3 times 1 times undefined. Put in your calculator if you want to. Do 3 times 1 times 0 to the 0. Let's see what your calculator says.
So they put undefined.
What did I just say?
Yes.
I love it. I got to learn something today. Look at number 11. Got about 2 or 3 more problems more here before I set you loose. Guess what? Still follow the exact same rules. 3 has nothing to reduce with, so write it down. And now we're going to go in alphabetical order, H, I, J, K. So let's start with H. H to the 3 over 2 and H squared. Since this is a division problem, subtract exponents. So what is 2 take away 3 over 2? If you don't know, ask your calculator.
So H1.
So H to the 1/2 goes in the numerator or denominator.
No more. 2 bigger.
You have to know that 2 is bigger than 3 over 2. If you don't know, you can convert 3 over 2 to a decimal. You know, so sometimes you might be like, man, 17 over 4 or 4. Which one's higher? That's kind of tricky. You might not know. So you might need to convert this one to a decimal. And then you can set up your subtraction problem. You got to look at the exponents and figure it out. Hij, okay, J's next. I have J and I have J to the 1/2. Which one's higher?
J. Please have the exponent of 1.
So what's bigger, 1 or 1/2? 1. So 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2. Where does my J to the 1/2 go? In the numerator, because that's where J was the highest. Hij, K. K doesn't have anything to reduce with. What do I do to finish it?
That's it, boss. You don't put it in a word.
Turn your fraction bar into a box. How's that for efficiency? Okay, 2 more. Take your paper and flip it over. Hard work. Number 13.
That's 0. I mean, undefined. Undefined. We gotta be. Or 0. Undefined.
That's gonna be a 1, ain't it? It's 1.
It's 1.
Yeah.
That's 0.
Because anything to 0
It's 1. All they're gonna turn to 1.
Right? We got to distribute, right?
Hey, hold on a second.
0 times something is 0.
That's a power. That's a power.
So this whole thing is being raised to the 0 power.
1. What is that?
An ugly one. Ruined the suspense of it all.
What is really the number like that?
I thought it was gonna have to be like 15 steps.
Why ain't put it like no, no, put 17.
That's like the problem. You ever taken a test and the teacher at the top it said, this is a, in the directions it said directions. This is a test. Don't answer any of the questions. Turn in the test when I ask you to turn in the test. If you do that, you'll get a 100. So some people are sitting there going answering every question, you know, and they fail. But if you read the directions,
I didn't do it for extra credit.
we're talking about extra credit. What's that? Extra credit. Power of a power. So now you multiply. Yes, exactly. Good memory. So 3 times 3 is
It's gonna be 902.
multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. What's 2 times 2? What are you confused about?
No, because it's
4, 1. Watch the second.
This man here.
I'm tripping.
so when it's a power when it's fraction raised to the power, you know, like how you multiply fractions outside of it, you keep if the numerator, if the denominator is the same, you keep it and you just multiply the top of it. You don't do it like that.
I think I know what you're talking about.
When you add fractions, you type them in your calculator. When you multiply fractions, you multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator.
At the end, we gotta add X's. You know what?
Let's talk about this x right here. Okay, good. Because 1 times 3 over 2 is 3 over 2. 12 over 6, which is what?
2 over 1, 2.
12 over 6 is just 2.
So, we gotta add that.
So it'll be 904
904.
Give me 904
11 over 6.
Now, slow down. What you need to do is understand this problem has all 3 parts in it. This is a perfect problem. First, it has a power of a power, so you need to multiply. Now, in the numerator, there's a multiplication problem. So you need to take the exponents and add them. Let's do that.
2. X to the second power. X to the second.
X to the third.
Second.
Both y'all are tripping. 9/4 plus 3 over 2.
To the third.
9 to the second. Alright.
Both y'all are tripping over here. Thank you, Tony. You typed in your fractions wrong. 9/4 plus 3 over 2. I don't know what's hard about that. What's 3/4 plus 2? Where did 2 come from? 12 over 6. 12 divided by 6 is... I'm still waiting. What's 3/4 plus, or 3/4 plus 2? There it is.
Why you put that Y right there?
Because there's a y in the denominator.
So you start reducing it.
Let's go on and reduce it.
Why you do
11 over 4. X is 15 over 4. And 11 over 4.
Nigga, is that 7 over 4?
I'll tell you what you did, Tony. You did 1 minus 15 over 4, didn't you? I mean, yeah, 1 minus 11 over 4.
7 over 4.
But hold on. This is important. A lot of you are going to make this mistake. When you subtract these exponents, you have to decide which one of these exponents is bigger.
One. You gotta make sure, man.
11 over 4 is bigger. If you need to convert it to a decimal over here,
2.75. That's what it is.
so 2.75 minus 1 gives you y to the what?
7 over 4.
And now if you put negative 7 over 4, that's not right. You also need to know which one is bigger because you need to know where to put y. If 1 is bigger, then y goes in the denominator. But if 11 over 4 is bigger, then y stays up here in the numerator.
You understand? You understand?
Where are you? 11 minus 4 minus 1. No, we are 11 over 4 minus 1. So it's 4 to y. The 2 y says 9 over 4 3 over 2.
Okay, I got a question about the 2 x's.
Okay, let me answer your questions and I'm going to let you work. Cortez, go ahead.
Now, the 2 x's, when I added 9 over 4 plus 3 over 2.
And what'd you get?
27 over 8.
You 27 over 8.
You want to
That's multiplication, bro.
You multiply.
Multiplication.
Okay, I'm confused. When do we add and when do we multiply?
When do you multiply exponents? When it's a power.
Outside of parentheses.
When it's a power.
What's
Okay, when it's raised to a power outside the parentheses, you multiply.
Yeah.
And then when it's just sitting right there, you multiply them. That's the
Yeah.
you add.
You add the exponents.
Multiply coefficients.
All right.
No. Oh wait, yes.
Should've taught me, boy.
This problem just didn't have any coefficients. That's you confused me for a second.
You feel it? Feel it? You better feel it.
All right. Well, I hope you feel this worksheet because you need to get to work. 0 noise. Thank you. If you have questions, come see me. Appreciate it. Tia, question. When do you get new bathroom passes?